You know the time, what's the time?
6 o'clock on the dot.
You know the time, what's the time?
It's time for Kevy Kev.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Another edition of Kevy's Corner. I'm Kevy Kev. And, back in the day, that's a while back, I used to get the opportunity to talk to some outstanding artists in the entertainment field, career. And today, special guest, we got an opportunity to go back there and kind of talk about some great, outstanding, futuristic talent. Futuristic, but also doing it right now in the Midwest, St. Louis area. And we're talking about none other than CALI Prime. CALI Prime, who represents from St. Louis, East St. Louis, both of them, both sides, the Missouri, the Illinois side. He represents all of them, and he is doing it big time on the R&B and hip hop side. It's got a new project out. It's called "How Are You?" And his first big single that he broke. Actually broke this one during the I guess you would say the huge major part of the pandemic. It was his big single "Man Down." So what's up with you, Callie? How you doing? Also to your manager, Miss Kalia, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Doing well, doing well. Glad to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh man, thank you for being with us. Well, first of all, because we're gonna get into some of your music, I have to tell you, you're a really, you don't want to use the term up and coming, but I'll just say people need to really look out for your music if they haven't heard it, and we'll tell them about all the places where they can get hold of it and catch it and hear it and catch you, on different social media platforms. But you have really jumped on the scene really well here. I guess it's probably safe to say that during the time of COVID, the hardest hit part that we all faced of it, you were in the studio writing music. But tell me about you and first of all, how'd you get the name Cali Prime? Because you're kind of an Illinois Missouri guy. How'd you get to Cali? I'm seeing the Cali. I know there might be something with Drake. Tell me about Cali Prime. How that all happened.
Uh, yes, sir. So, like you were saying, during the pandemic is kind of when I got really my start. During such an awful time, you know, I felt like the people, at least that I knew that I was around, that listened to me, that liked being around me and liked hearing what I had to do, needed some uplifting music. I thought this was a better time than any to be putting out music that made people understand that they were heard, that their darkest moments were not their own, and that there are brighter moments to come. The world is not just this beacon of darkness. So when I was looking for names, I wanted a name that sparked that confidence in people. A name that meant something to people. That if they call themselves, like people call themselves Superman when they're pretending, you feel like you're Superman. You feel that symbol of hope on your chest, and even though it's not there and he's not real, you can still say that name and know what it means. And I feel the same way. So when we were searching for names, I ended up settling on Callian, which was a name that I have loved forever. And I was I was looking for last names, but I already kind of knew I wanted Prime just because Optimus Prime is one of the greatest names ever, and it seemed like a great opportunity. So I kept saying Callian Prime, and I'm like, it sounds good, it's not too bad. But then I kept spelling it out. I was writing it a bunch of different ways, and Kalia was there helping me, and I said, "Oh, what about Callie?" And both of us just kind of stared at each other, for a minute, like, that's it. That's gonna be it. So after that, I started telling people because I used to go by name Legion, which also is the same idea of Legion is like a group of people, a group of things, so it made people feel like they were a part of something bigger. That was a really hard dynamic to understand, for people to understand, but it was a great thing that I like to explain. But I also felt like a lot of people just weren't really understanding what I meant by that. But a couple of people that were kind of on board. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're going for. So I went to something that more directly pointed to me, say you are Cali Prime, but also that like we could all be Cali Prime in a sense. Um, so that's
That's
how we settled on the name.
that's a very catchy name because you remember that one. I mean, it's Cali Prime, okay, and
Good, yeah. I
you
wanted something people love to say.
yeah, and it just rolls out Cali Prime, okay. So, you are very talented, and again, like I said, we're gonna get some clips of your music in here. But you're very talented, and you do R&B and hip hop. Is that right? Is it safe to say that for you, or how would you describe your sound? I mean, because it sounds like your music, places very well in both those genre areas.
That's a great way of putting it. I just say I make music. I if you were to look at any of my old stuff, there's I made a full on song for on the last project that I had put out as Legion. I made a full on I love country. I'm a big indie fan. Alternative music is kind of probably my favorite genre. I love alternative. I just like the different things that you can still be considered one genre. I don't think too many genres do that. Except pop, obviously, and then pop. Pop. Michael Jackson's my favorite ever. So it's kind of hard to like that guy. Oh no, I won't make any super dynamic melodies and catchy beats. So I would say I like music artists. I like that for all of us. Even the rappers. I feel like people call them rappers and they don't feel like they're allowed to do anything else. And so when you see guys like Drake who want to make a dance album or he wants to sing, Find Your Love or Just Hold On, people like scoff at it because like, oh, you're a rapper, rap. And it's like, well, we can do other things because we're just talented enough to be able to write music, make music, and hear a lot of different things. And sometimes rapping just isn't the thing to do. You feel a lot of different things. So I would like to say that I don't write. I let the music write for me, and everything is kind of there. It's just for me to go pick out.
That's awesome, and I think it's great too that you're saying you. It sounds to me like you're saying you really don't want to be just placed in one category because you just said you like all types of music.
Absolutely. I mean, so I think people are more adamant about it than I am. Like, I definitely think if you listen to interviews by someone like Post Malone or a lot of the up and coming artists, like a lot of people are really adamant about the fact that they don't want to be typecast or put into a box or anything. I myself, I really don't care what you're gonna call me because at the end of the day, like I'm gonna make what I'm gonna make. Call me this, you call me that, but when the music comes out, that's what I'm giving you. So I do appreciate someone like yourself who is just listening to the music and being like, I can call you R&B, hip hop. I mean, which one do you fit in? And the fact that you asked lets me know that okay, well, this is someone who does see the nuances of some of this, some of that could potentially be something else too. Um, I like to just go with the flow. If somebody calls me something, I don't take a lot of things negatively. I like to turn everything into a positive. So somebody calls me a rapper, I say thank you. I do rap, so it's not like they're wrong. If I,
Yeah,
Man Down is a and Fire, like the song that you heard, um,
yeah.
it's a true R&B songs, with some rap in there. So if somebody were like, "Oh, you're an R&B artist or neo soul artist," I'd take all of it. I accept all of it. I'll just say yes to everything, then that makes me everything. So
All right. So now I know when you were in college, you were focused on broadcast media journalism, but you kind of found your way into producing music. How did that transition? How did that all come into being like that?
Oh, so I didn't want to go to college really. I went to college because I found something that I believed was my niche. I'm like, okay, I like to speak. I was doing play by play on a big microphone system for our girls softball team.
Okay.
Because nobody ever went to the softball games, and I thought that was kind of awful considering the fact that literally any other team that we have it gets almost packed out, bleachers. Um, so I used to go back there and I got a microphone and I set it up for the games. My AD thought it was a fantastic idea, and I went back there and started doing play by play, announcing both sides batters when they come up, to bat and everything. And uh, it was really fun. I did it for every home, just about every home game that they had, and they really loved it and enjoyed it. And it was something that I was like, okay, I think this could be a genuine thing for me if I don't end up getting into music, which I had always wanted to do. And so when I got to college, like you were saying, I was in broadcasting. I wanted to be on the ESPN. I had all the big dreams of being the sports analyst and everything else. And then I went to the marketing and media class and saw that um, how much work it was going to take for me to put in. And I don't like committing to things if I know there's a high chance of me not finishing the commitment. And as I was there, I had been writing music pretty much the moment that I got to college. And so as I was there, I just was going home, doing homework, looking at these things, and then writing. And I'm like, I have much more enjoyment writing music, performing music, and being able to actually be a part of a society, a community, rather than either being behind or in front of a camera. I just feel really disconnected doing things that way. And the media landscape, especially when you're talking about getting up towards ESPN and everything, is such a political space that it's like, do I want to sacrifice my morals? Um, if I'm faced with those different opportunities and situations, not that everybody is, but those were just questions that I asked myself that I was like, those just aren't things that I want to do. I think I could probably face those challenges more head on if they were to present themselves in the music landscape rather than this, because I might say yes to things just because I'm looking for some type of excitement rather than I'm excited to do this. So I took off of music. I dropped out of college. I told my mom and my dad when I came home, I'm going back. I'll go to community college here, and then just because of finances, that ended up not working out all that well. Um, but it was
But
cool.
that
I mean,
that had
school
to
is
be
great.
tough.
College is
Yeah.
great.
I was gonna say that probably had to be really tough too, just knowing the scope of things. If your parents they send you to college and you come home on a weekend, or when it was, and you say, "I think I'm gonna let this college go and I'm gonna pursue a career in hip hop or R&B or pop." Tell me, how did that go over with your parents or your family?
Um, yeah. So I actually did it at the end of the semesters, not at the end of the school year. So I had finished a full year of university, and I came home. My dad and I were doing the yard work one day, and one evening, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go back. I think I'm gonna just pursue music, and I'll probably do community college. It's cheaper, and that allows me to kind of figure out if I really want to go back to college, if this is something that I really want to pursue. And he was perfectly fine with it. Like, my dad's super just laid back about a lot of
Supportive.
things.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. He's supported me through a lot of different things that I've wanted to do. My mom is extremely supportive. It's a lot for her. It was genuinely a lot, because you think that you are setting this child up to do the thing that you want him to do, that you think is best for them. I understand all that. Like, I'm not naive to those factors. It's just not what I want to do, and I'm not one to do things that they don't like to do. And I
Gotcha.
told her, I said, I'm not going to waste your money. I'm not going to waste the time. I'm not going to be in debt to do something that I know in the 4 years, I'm not going to go do it. Like, it just wouldn't do it.
Mhm.
I'd still go pursue music, with a degree in something else that might help me because I have some connections in media, and that would potentially help, but that's just not the path I wanted to take. So it was rough for my mom. It was, um, but that's fine. Like, I accept people's reactions to things. Like, people are allowed to react to things that you tell them. She's not supposed to like it or dislike it. She's supposed to react how she feels. And my dad the same way, and they reacted how they felt, and we dealt with it, and now we're here, and both of them are supportive, and they love it, and everything's great.
That's awesome. Then because like you say, I know when I was 20, 21, like you were 22, you're still trying to figure things out. But for you to be
Mhm.
able to outright say, okay, I don't want to do this, and here's what I want to do. That's very very mature and disciplined, and I commend you for that. Miss
Thank
Kalia,
you.
want to ask you. You're welcome. I want to ask you. How did you meet? What happened where you heard his music and you say, "Hey, I think I can help you, or I can help you promote it." How did that happen? How did because we have I know you from back, and I didn't know you were a uh, music promoter, agent, manager. How did you get into promoting Cali Prime here?
Oh, I would love your version to be the one that actually happened, but that's not how it happened at all. I met him at work. I heard his music. I was supportive of the music, and I was like, I really, really like this. And he kept saying he needed a manager, and I was like trying to find one somehow. And then I thought about it on my own in my personal space. I was like, I could do it. I don't know how, but I could. But I didn't say anything because I'm like, who am I? I just told this person I like his music. And then one day he just goes, "You want to be my manager?" I was like, "Yes." And I was like, "I don't know what to do, but yeah, I'll figure it out." And that's that's how it happened. He asked me, and I said yes. I wish your version was better, but no, that's what happened.
Still a great story. It's a
That's
phenomenal
good.
story.
That is a great story. Young people just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna figure it out." I love that, which means you going
Absolutely.
for
And
it.
if I may add too, if I may add too, by the way, to the point that you're making with people getting together, like people don't do that. Like I don't know if people really understand that, the importance of that story. Like I was glad that the music was something that made her, invest because people don't do that. People like they'll listen to you like, all right, you're great. Good luck. you know, like best of luck to you. I hope you do well. And she kept coming around, she wanted to go to studio sessions and she wanted to see my writing process, how everything broke down. She was just really, really a fan and a supportive friend at the same time of the music and of my career and the direction that I was going. And I looked at it as it was a no brainer for me. I had been looking for a manager, but the one thing that anybody tells you, my mom, any of my friends that are in the music industry will tell you is you got to look out for yourself and you got to have people around you that are genuinely looking out for you. And for somebody that was this close, she's just like she'll listen to it every day. She knows all the words within 2 days, and asking me like, "Oh, what are you gonna do next?" And I'm like, "Why don't you be my manager? Like you have a drive for it. You have a true passion for what I'm doing, for the message that I'm trying to send, for the direction that I'm going." So it made a lot of sense to me, and she's been fantastic ever since. So it's working out.
I tried.
Wow.
That's how we got
All
here.
right. That's how we got it. Yeah, absolutely. So you write, you produce, and of course you do the singing, the rapping. So growing up, did you have a music background like that? Did you sing? Did you play an instrument? How did that come into being to placing you here with the music?
Trying to think. I don't think there's any real like moment or thing that I can point to. My parents were big music listeners, as I feel like a lot of people from uh, the 60s, 70s kind of are. Like they just really genuinely loved music. I think because of the radio, probably just because the radio was on so many different places and on all the
Yeah,
time. That was the only way you
yeah.
could consume music. They loved, loved, loved music. And so by the time I came around, you're talking the late 90s, 2000s, like the internet's a thing now. So you can
Right,
you can look
right.
up music and have different music playing, and there was music stations and channels, and there was MTV, there was Fuse, VH1 used to show some. So that I was always watching. I used to stay up on the weekends. They used to let me stay up really late, and I used to watch Fuse until it was like 4 in the morning because they were music
Uh-huh.
videos. They were rock music
Uh-huh.
videos. I
Right,
used to watch
right.
Kurt Cobain. I used to watch some Jimi Hendrix old videos. I used to
Oh,
see Nirvana in the early days and when like Kurt really got on, and then I used to see Nine Inch Nails and is it Drowning Pools? I think their name is called. Yeah, Drowning Pools, and just so many of these hard, heavy rock bands. And then I found my way to MTV, and MTV had all type of stuff. I got over there and was like, "This is not rock music. This is you're John B and Bun B and Fat Joe to Ashanti to I'm just like, what is this? And I wasn't allowed to listen to rap. So when I found MTV and DMX was like really the guy when I was younger. Um, and I heard DMX and my dad used to let me listen to Outkast. So the only two artists that were rappers that I ever knew were DMX and Andre 3000 and Big Boy. And so
mm,
once I got outside of that and started watching MTV, I was like, there is a lot of music in the world. Like there's a lot of music currently existing. And I used to sing the songs all the time and I would go in the basement and I didn't always like the lyrics and I would change them. So I'd sing the same song, but I
mm.
just changed how I wanted them. And that
Wow.
turned into me singing my own songs, making my own melodies. And now here we are, all these years later.
I think you are speaking to yourself. I mean, when you a young guys like yourself talking about Kurt Cobain and Jimi Hendrix and Nine Inch Nails, and then you going to Ashanti and talking about Outkast and Fat Joe. I mean, DMX. That is quite a wide range of interest in music, and obviously, anybody with that kind of appreciation for music, you have some art to display. Um, your your big hit. Man Down. Tell me about that. What if there was a message? Well, there's definitely a message. What? Tell me about Man Down because that has really went over very very well for you.
Man Down was really cool. It was kind of sporadic. I had a beat, the beat that you hear. Um, Found it on YouTube. I went the whole workday actually. I spent the whole workday writing it. I had a studio session. I Early that day, I set up a studio session with my producer at the time, Josh, and I told him like, "Hey, I got a song, and I want to do this tonight." I didn't get off work until like 6:30 or whatever, so we would always have studio sessions at 7 o'clock. And he was like, "All right, bet, come through." And I didn't have a song. Like I just told him I had a song because I felt good about the beat, but I didn't actually have a song. I was writing it. So I was going through the day, and people that know me that I write songs in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Um, so it was really like I felt something different, I guess, because I spent all day writing the song, like from the moment I got to work till I showed up at Josh's house, finishing the song. So I genuinely spent all day. I think that had a lot to do with the fact that I was, teaching children, but there was also just a lot of time where I just really wanted to take my time with it to really get everything out. And the message is just, I mean, it's pretty clear. It's just about a breakup, and then like a lot of the real raw emotions that you feel when you go through a breakup, because some things you don't really understand, and that some things are just really hard to deal with. And I just felt like, what better way than to just, without like, dissing your ex or anything, what way can I genuinely, genuinely just express how I feel, just express how I'm feeling, and that's how Man Down came. Um, yeah, that was a really fun song to do, but it was kind of like a whimsical thing. I can't even say that like I
Uh-huh.
really knew it was going to be that good or anticipated it because by the time, like I said, by the time I got to Josh, I was just finishing like the last few words.
Well, that's pretty special. You got off work and say, "Hey, I want to go to the studio. I want to do this song," because you talk to artists and it's difficult for you just to sit down and say, "Okay, I'm gonna write a song. I'm gonna produce a song." I know I'm sure it doesn't just come to you like that. You have to, like you said. I'm sure you get your creative. I don't know. You tell me about it. How does it? You get a song then, and it's time to go do a song.
Yeah, I'd actually disagree and say that you're kind of right. Like I do kind of just sit down and say I'm gonna write a song, and then and then I write a song. Writing's really easy. Like we had mentioned before off camera, like I did a lot of speech writing, and that's how
Hmm.
I got into communications in the first place, just because I was like, man, what is something that I could do where I could actually use my speech and utilize that and my writing skills. Um, and because of the fact that I had so much writing experience and I wrote speeches so often, writing is really easy. I mean, a song is much shorter than a speech. Some of those speeches I have to write are like 10 minutes. Um, no song is 10 minutes. So that was really easy to kind of to make that transition. And I had always like Pulley, which is even closer to music, and just I think all in when I was in like eighth grade, ninth grade. I think just allowing myself to really dive all in. And by the time got to like 21 and I'm trying to call myself CALI PRIME, like writing is second nature. Like, I can sit here and write one while we're on this interview done by the end of the interview.
So the writing part, like, okay, the writing part is second nature for you. What about do you do the production? Do you put the tracks together? You create the beats, the melodies? How does that? Or do you have a producer that helps you with that? How does that work?
So The two producers that I've had will tell you that I'm a producer. I will tell you no. I don't.
I would say
Everybody that
Yes,
comes to the studio says I'm a producer. I don't think so. I I really appreciate people that produce. Like that is one of my favorite aspects of music in general. I think that's such a unique talent. I think that's an amazing um portion. And I do think that just personally, because I love Kanye West, but I do feel like having someone else be a part of that process almost works better. And I found two guys that actually know how to produce, went to school for it, studied for it, have degrees. And I said, you know what? I want to just see what they can do. Like I listen to beats all day. I write my music to beats on YouTube, and then I'll go see them, and they'll create beats from scratch. We'll collaborate and everything. So I guess I kind of co-produce, but if you ask me, I'll give them much more credit than I'll give myself. Sure.
Okay, as I know we get ready to wind things down here, this has been great to just hear about your journey here. What would you say at this point in your career? And I know you're planning shows and you're in the studio. Um, what would you say? What is our goal? What have we set? What's that goal? What's over the mountaintop or at the mountaintop for you right now?
Absolutely. Um, so like I was saying, Michael Jackson he's just my guy. Like he is undisputed champ, if you ask me. And I've always loved um what he stood for, his image, how he went about doing things. And obviously, it's kind of hard for somebody to be Michael Jackson. I'm gonna give it my best go, but it's hard for somebody to be that. Um,
So you have the dancing.
uh,
Do you dance to go along? You got your own Cali Prime walk or moonwalk? How does that work?
I don't, but don't get me started. Don't get me started. I'll mess around and have a lean something,
Lean
something
with
in
it,
a
rock with
couple
it,
years.
huh?
But no, my goal is to one be signed. That is one of my biggest goals, and to be the biggest artist that I can be, the best artist that I can be, and then the biggest artist that I can be. I genuinely want to be global. I want everybody to hear what I have to say because I do think I'm saying a lot of great things. I don't always think I'm really in control of the things that I end up putting down. And I do think because of the fact that it is kind of coming to me, it's a part of something bigger, that it should be a part of something bigger. And that only works if I have the backing and distribution and publications to do that for me. So that's kind of my goal as the immediate goal right now. I've got other goals way, way, way down the line, but I would say right over the mountain, as you said.
Well, Miss Kalia, Callie he said some things about getting signed. He talked about distribution. He talked about uh, control. What if he has to do it himself? That's what you're to do, right? What's taking place with him now? How to and just tell people how do they get to hear Cali Prime or get to see him? Where is he at on social media and where can they hear his music? How do they get hold of Cali Prime and the new project? How are you? What needs to happen?
His music is on all platforms, so Apple Music, SoundCloud, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube. It's everywhere. And his Instagram is, you can search Cali Prime, but his Instagram is primetimecali_. But on all social media platforms, Cali Prime.
All right, and so you're gonna help just keep him out there. So we need to look out for him and follow him on social media and download that music, right, Cali Prime?
Absolutely, absolutely. Go download everything. Listen to everything.
Download everything. All right. Well, man, it has truly been a pleasure to have you and have Miss Glee on you, and I just wish you continued success in it. And if I could say anything, if you get the big signing, that's awesome. If you don't, you keep doing it yourself, like you're doing now, and reaching that audience. You have a great sound and a great story, great inspiration story to a lot of people out there. So look out for him, Cali Prime. It's CALIPRIME, and he's on all social media platforms. You can catch him, and he's doing. Let's get out there and let's support him. Cali Prime, Miss Kalia. Thank y'all so much for being with us here on Kevy's Corner, and we're gonna be looking out for Cali Prime in 2022, 2023, and beyond. All right. So thanks a lot to you both, and God bless.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It was blessed to be here. Take care.